you, Zoom lady. Thank you.
Shall I click leave meeting?
Would kind of ruin your whole automation stuff, but yeah. Well, yes, thank you all so much for joining us today. We are very excited for this. Our wonderful co-host, the real Mark Bowden, the man that can stop you from sending 8.02 emails by using Calendly instead, which, you know, I love that part because I don't like my emails.
I love the fact that you've learned the stat off by heart. You've been to too many of my presentations.
Exactly. Like I still can't remember like any letters, but every number you throw at me, I'll remember. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. So I don't even know what to say. Mark is just like the king of automations. I'm in his automation academy. It's incredible. We're learning so much. We're automating parts of our business that I didn't even know existed or needed automating or could be automated. And it's saving me so much time and it's giving me so many more reviews and magical stuff is happening that just, yeah. So whatever you do, don't zone out right now. Listen in and just learn. Nigel said learn. Don't take your headphones off while I'm talking.
Maybe you didn't need the headphones. Thank you, Simone. I shall have to try and follow that now, won't I? So I was concerned that with Simone's quiet and understated intros that you might all be slightly nodding off at this point. So I thought I would wake you up some bright yellow. So hopefully you can all see my screen. Good. Okay, let's go. So, right. He said, trying to persuade the right thing to go. There we go. Right. Okay. So I called this automate everything, but with the important subtext of do it properly. Nice sunglasses, Nigel. It's not this bright all the way through, I promise. Automate everything, because actually there's no part of your business where you can't use some automation, but don't just go diving in automating stuff because you can. So let's start with some nerdy stuff, shall we? I'm going to talk a little bit to this. So McKinsey did a study of 750 occupations in the US job market. They also observed the same trends hold true, certainly within the EU, the UK, and most other Western industrialized nations, looking at how jobs could potentially be automated and the percentage of work in different occupations that could be automated with currently demonstrated technology. Now, the average they came up here was 30%, and that's a number some of you will have heard me quote before, but I actually thought the full analysis is kind of interesting, and I'll talk you through a little bit of it in a second. But although they said 30% overall could be automated with currently demonstrated technology, they also observed another 20% could be automated with technology that exists but hasn't yet been commercially demonstrated. So that is, for example, things like driverless cars and those sorts of technologies where tech is kind of there but not quite yet in commercial application. So if you add those together, that's 50% of all work. This chart is like madly complicated, and it's a screen grab of something that's actually really dynamic. It's actually quite a cool website if you're a numbers geek like me and like data. But what they did was they broke down on the bubble chart the average hourly wage by the percentage of work that can be automated. And unsurprisingly, what you see is that the people that are in the high hourly rates, there's a less chance of them being automated, or less of their work can be automated. Whereas the lower hourly rates are generally more manual, more repetitive tasks, and are easier to automate. And in some cases, 100% of that job could be automated. That's, you know, then breaks down by industry and type of occupation. But if you think about it through the lens of kind of what are all of us, we're all small business owners, what sorts of things we do, actually, we do a number of these tasks in our businesses, most of us, right? So, you know, you could start by thinking, well, okay, we do some kind of management type activities, and that's the sort of darker purple color that you see on the graph kind of here. So, you know, that's in this sort of zone of, let's call that maybe 20 to 25% of that could be automated. And then You know, some more than others, but you know, as Nigel will know, some of us do quite a lot of sales. Well, here's mostly the sales activity in the middle. That's about half of that they reckon could be automated in there. And then the other thing that obviously takes a lot of our time, and you know, something to think about for Erica and Natalie particularly, is administration and office type work, which is this kind of grass green color that we see up the top here, which is kind of spread out across a whole load of different occupations, but I think we can probably reasonably agree that's in the sort of 70 to 75% of that could be automated. So that's quite a lot of our work that could be automated. And if you can actually automate that, that is time that you could get back to be doing something else. And automation, it's easy to see as a kind of a threat to jobs and reducing, taking work away from humans. But what's really interesting is actually, if you look at the graphs that have been done, what they show is that the net negative effect, the most lost jobs on average from automation compared to new jobs created by it, actually peaked in 2019. So we are now in a world where automation is creating more jobs than it's taking away, and it's going to grow through the 2020s. So automation is big business, but it's also a big opportunity in your business to create more capacity. But I love this quote from Bill Gates: use of technology in business. And he talks about how the first rule is that if you've got an efficient operation, you'll magnify the efficiency. But his second rule is if you're inefficient, you're just going to make it worse, right? So this is kind of what I describe usually as, if you're doing a crap job, automation is going to allow you to do a crapper job faster. So get it right before you start. So one of the things I do when I work with people is I help them to think about their processes as they go through, and they start off with, we start off by thinking about, well, what do you do? So you deliver something, right? And by deliver, that could be like any number of things. So I'm pretty sure everyone on the call probably could tick off at least one thing in this blue box as that thing you deliver. But if not, let me know, because I just need to add it to the blue box basically. But delivery is like the thing you're here to do, right? So whether that's coaching, whether it's, you know, playing music at weddings, whether it's getting people using software, doing social media, whatever. Right, but how do you do that delivery? Well, you probably have some sort of discovery process, right? And again, that will vary. That might be a booking or diagnostic call. It might be an audit. It might be a quote. It might be an estimate, whatever it is. So most people will say, well, basically my business runs like this, right? I do a quote and then I go and do the work. And it's like, well, okay, but actually if you dig a bit deeper, what you find is that they go, oh yeah, and then I like to send an invoice, because, you know, you probably want to invoice for that. And then actually after people invoice, they sometimes come back for some more work. So that's kind of the next step. But again, if you keep digging, the next thing you find is to go, actually, you know, how does that discovery event happen? It doesn't just happen by magic. You've got to do some sort of sales and marketing activity. So maybe you've got a landing page and do a bit of lead capture. And so that's going on there, and then that's feeding into the discovery to go through to start getting your customers that you can deliver. And then after you've done your invoice, you probably want some reviews, because we all know reviews are good. And they're going to be helpful. But hey, guess what? Once you've got some reviews, you can put them on your landing page. And lo and behold, what we've created here is a circle where we've actually got kind of circular activities, self-reinforcing. And what's important there is, if this process is efficient and then you automate it, you're going to start to get positive feedback into this system, and you're going to start to be able to work faster and better. But if it's bad, you're actually going to start to slow yourself down, because you're going to generate bad reviews. You're actually going to undermine the effectiveness of your marketing, reduce the number of discovery calls, reduce the amount you can deliver, reduce the amount you can invoice. But it kind of goes a bit beyond that, because then you start thinking, actually, is this all I've got to do? This doesn't seem too bad. But then you think, actually, hang on, I'd quite like to get paid as well, not just send an invoice. It's quite nice to get some sort of payment mechanism. And then you go, actually, to book these discovery calls and do the delivery, I kind of need a calendar. So better think about how I kind of book that stuff in. And actually, reviews need to go on review sites before they go to my landing page. So I should probably have something in there and point that in. And then you think, actually, I was getting paid. I've got this accountant that keeps nagging me about doing some stuff. So I'd probably better have an accounting system to do that. That's probably a great idea, isn't it? So invoices and payments need to go into there. And And then actually I could get more traffic to my landing page if I had a lead magnet. That's a great idea. Let's build one of those. And you start to see already the process in your business is starting to get a little bit complicated. Feel the blood pressure rising a bit, yeah? Then you need to start thinking, well, actually, all those reviews I've got, what if I put them on social media and then I can feed them back into the lead capture? And then I might want to do some mailings, and some of that I want to push some more people to the landing page, some people straight into discovery calls. And actually, I've got those leads, so why don't I mail those as well? And then you think, oh, this payment thing's all right. I've got a bit of money in the bank. Maybe I'll do some advertising to get more people to my landing page. And you can start to see what you've now got is a whole series of loops within loops here of processes which, if they're done well, are going to make your business flow faster. They're going to make your business work better. But actually, if they're not, then you're going to start to slow things down. So, oh, hang on, click back on things. So the good thing is all the arrows that I've highlighted in red on this page, you can actually automate, which means if you get that working, you only need to think about these two boxes, which, hey, guess what, is just about where we started and going, all you need to think about is how you do discovery and doing the delivery really well, because all of the rest of that machine you can automate and have it just running along in the background. Of course, you need to periodically do things to it, but you don't need to do it on a day-to-day activity. So that's the big advantage of it, but don't just take my word for it. This chap knows what he's talking about. Professor Leslie Wilcox from the London School of Economics is an expert on this, and he has just completed a study for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he concluded that every £1 that a business spends on automation generates for them between £1.30 and £3 in the first year alone, with the benefits rising from there, just in terms of being able to get more income at lower cost. So there we go. Lots of nerdy numbers for you. Hopefully Simone enjoyed that. Hopefully the rest of you enjoyed that. Any questions? Because the robot needs to know.
I love it. And look at that, on time.
Yeah.
Spot on, even early.
And then, are you ready for the tricky part? All of this was automated. It was pre-recorded, though.
Plot twist. Yeah, no, that would be good, wouldn't it? But no.
That would be kind of funny.
There are some things that are better to do live, but there we go. Hopefully it gives a bit of a flavour, at least, for how I work with clients and help them to understand their processes before we do automation and why we care about getting that right.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Okay, this is going to be it sounds like a silly question, but I mean, are you basically, you would be training us how to automate our own businesses, or do you do it on behalf of us as a client, or do you do
so
both?
I have a couple of different services, and that is a great question, thank you. And I have a couple of different services that I offer. So the first thing I have is I have my Automation Academy, where I train business owners how to think about processes, and from there how to systemize the processes and then automate and integrate the processes in their business. And then the second thing that I do is for some clients, they say, actually, I don't want to learn this stuff, I just want to give it to someone else to do. So I have a kind of done for you service as well. But the reason I created the Academy was I realized that actually a done for you service, actually, although it might initially look quite good value because you're thinking about things at sort of hourly rates or small pieces of work, to do a whole business actually starts to add up quite a lot. And I realized that by bringing it together in a more standard format and teaching the skills rather than doing all of the work myself, it's kind of a means to just make it a bit more affordable.
Okay, no, that's exactly, well, you answered the question perfectly. And the reason I asked that is twofold. One is that I do believe that one has to fully automate exactly how you just explained. Only way it can work in today's world that's turning so fast and so quickly. But I'm kind of wanting to do it a little bit ask about face. It's a very South African saying, is where you would have somebody like you automate my business for me and then train me afterwards, when, so yeah. If you get what I'm saying, so that I get abreast in terms of my processes and my automation, but then train me so that I can then also do it myself. And when I speak about it with authority. So that's why I asked. And maybe you can pop, well, I don't know if you can tell us what the courses are over this, or do you email us, or
Yeah, I mean, I'll pop a link in the chat for the course. It's got some information about the academy, and it's got excuse me, got a link where you can book the discovery call for it, and then we can have more of a chat about whether it's a good fit and how to do it. But you know, I'm happy to work flexibly with people, but the course itself is designed to be a mix of video content and group work and one-to-one work. So that's how I structure things.
Okay. And how long is the course?
It's a lifetime membership, actually. So it takes most people about 15 to 20 weeks to complete the material.
Okay. And if you automated it, you'd have to have a discovery call, I suppose, and I can ask all these questions.
Stanley, can I just say, actually, it's quite nice that it's like a lifetime thing, because once you've automated one thing and then you feel like you went through the process,
Yeah.
well, then you kind of start over, because then you see like, oh, now all of this is working and functioning. Then I can add this level, and then I can add the next level.
Absolutely.
And
No,
yeah,
yeah,
like,
I agree with you. And I think with Mark being in the game, is that obviously as things are changing and sort of leveling up, he's keeping himself abreast with it. And if you're a lifetime member, he will then, as a client, keep me abreast, which is obviously something that we're all looking for, you know. So if that's your industry and that's your game, you'll be knocking on my door saying, hey, Natalie, we're now doing flick flack backwards through Calendly instead of, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, it is moving all the time. And you know, software industry now is an arms race between vendors, where they're just constantly adding features and trying to add more value for the same price point than their competitor. And you know, it's great in some respects as a customer, because you're getting more and more for your money. But on the other hand, it means it's really easy to feel like you've backed the wrong horse, and you've kind of gone, I've gone with Calendly, and now, oh, Squarespace have bought Acuity and they're bringing out loads of new features there. I should have done that. And then you switch, and then the next thing you know, Calendly's just have 300 million of investment and they've added more features. You know, I should have gone there. And it's kind of, it's really easy to feel like you've always got it wrong. And actually the reality is you've got to make the decisions in the right way and have the right framework for deciding what tools you're going to need, and then how you're going to kind of commit to them, on what your decision points for changing look like, rather than just chasing, you know, unicorns, frankly.
Sure. I don't want to hold the floor if anybody else has any questions. I've got loads of questions, but
well, I'm certainly very happy to have a one-to-one with you or anyone else that wants one as well.
I'm assuming you've automated other VA businesses as well.
I have, yes. I have.
Okay.
Well, and the beauty of that too is that not only can your business then be automated, but then you can roll out some of that automation for your clients as well.
Exactly. It works really well actually for VAs.
Yeah.
Because it will help you to deal with more clients in the same amount of time, but also you can bring that knowledge into their business. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see the whole streamlining process on my phone. I see it already like streaks ahead. You know, I know about it, and I see a lot about it. It's exactly what you've just said, Mark, is that you see so much of it on the internet, automate. You see it on Instagram, Facebook, VAs talking about automation or whatever, but you don't know if you're going to be sold something that is just a gimmick, you know, if it's just something that's a fly by night and et cetera. But exactly what I've just asked you was that I would want somebody to automate my business for me. Then I'd happily do the training, but at least I know that it's automated and it's running perfectly. I want to know what you've actually done, so I understand it, but I need to automate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've just popped a link for my Calendly into the chat. So if you want to take advantage of that, or anyone else does, please feel free.
I will. And you're in the UK, Mark?
I am, yes, I am.
Okay, I'm just checking constraints. Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, but I've worked with people from a number of other countries. I mean, that's the beauty of it these days. We're all international, aren't we?
Correct. No, it is. It's a real gem. And the program that you use, Mark, to automate the system, is it something that you've designed, or is it?
No, I generally steer people towards third-party tools, because there's so much money globally now being poured into software tools. They're all available to us at relatively low cost. It's a question of picking the right combination of tools at the right cost. There are a few cases where it makes sense to have things built bespoke for a business, but they're a very, very tiny minority now. There's almost certainly something already available, probably several things already available on the market, a really good price point with a whole load of support and big companies behind them for any business application. So to me, the game now is not getting things written bespoke or even trying to sell bespoke software. It's trying to assemble this massive array of products that are available to us all, in some cases for free, in some cases for fairly small monthly investment, and figure out what combination solves the problem and which combination will actually play nice with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot. I mean, I've looked into it, and a lot of people in my game have suggested HubSpot, but I've also gone one step further. There's another platform called Go High Level, which is CRM, but I don't know if it does the same thing. Is it does what you do?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some overlap, and that is the sort of thing that we would talk through on a discovery call initially, and then we'd work through, because everyone's got different bits of software and people are committed to things. So accounting platforms, don't change your accounting platform unless you have to. It's a horrible, horrible job. You know, if you're on an email service, whether that's Google or Microsoft, again, don't change it unless you have to. It's a horrible job. So then it's kind of work within those constraints and see what you need to do to bring things together and make them fit together with what you've got, and try and avoid too much duplication, but recognize that sometimes it's the best solution, right? Sometimes it's better to get two products that have got half of what you need each on their free offering than it is to pay a subscription for something that does it all under one roof, as long as they talk to each other.
Great. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mark, and great questions, Natalie. I so appreciate that.
Brilliant questions. Thank you.
Yes, I will just